It's a party up in here. This is Plain Jane Wisdom. I'm Devin O'Day.
I'm Kim McLean.
And on Monday, we launched the news about a coat collection taking place for the homeless in Nashville, and we had Diana Joy and Allison Steele on. Girls, you are here and you're beaming.
You're back.
Tell us what happened.
Wonderful things. Wonderful things. We went to the mission, and we were able to give over 300 coats away there. Last night, we got to go to Leanne Rimes' concert. She's one of Diana's really good friends.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to go and just had a great time. The symphony had been collecting, and the coats that they collected were for youth. And so today, Diana Joy, myself, and my daughter got to go to 4 elementary schools.
Wow.
And give away children's coats. And Leanne was so gracious as to give over 100 new coats.
New coats.
So, new coats.
Now, Diana, you talk about your story about being a kid from the streets, and you had a lot of new coats growing up, right?
Yeah, no. No, and so I was like so excited. Well, Monday we did the bridge with candy.
Candy Christmas.
Yeah, and so we gave away 500 coats there. So it was like building, it was so exciting. I loved being able to give away coats, but I didn't give away any new ones. So, and it didn't even come across my mind. In over 30 years, very few people ever donate brand new coats.
Really?
Yeah, so I've been doing this, my husband and I, for 30 years this August. And so when Leanne announced it at the concert, she started crying, and then of course I bawled, and it hit me. Oh my gosh, we're able to give away.
Did
You know,
were the
100
tags
brand-
still on them and everything? Kids
Well, we
left
had
the
to
little
take
tags
them
on.
off because parents will take the coats and sell them. You know, take them back.
Aw.
And so we don't want the coats taken back. We want them to keep with the kids. So we took the tags off.
Yeah.
But it felt like Christmas. Like I
Yeah.
literally could hardly handle it. Like I wanted to just rip open the bags. And I had to wait until we got to the school, the first school, before I could open them. So
It's amazing to realize that many coats are needed. Because when you just describe those numbers, I realize that as I'm going about my day, driving around or walking through stores, I'm passing by children who don't have a coat. You know
no,
what I mean?
and
Because of that many.
yeah, and like when we went to the school today, one of the principals said that the kids went on a field trip, and like wasn't it like half of them did not have
They
coats?
did not have coats today, and
Today.
they were taking coats in today.
And we didn't have enough with us, so we had to give them the information to go back and get more, you know, where they could go. But it was just like, made me want to cry, because I was like, yes, Lord, I'm doing what you wanted me to do. And I'm standing here with new coats, and I just saw, you know, how important it was to be obedient to Him, and how much just one person, just me, bringing a coat, and Leanne and Allison, and how much it means to these kids, because they were all lined up coming in from the field trip. And there was like tons of them. There was tons of kids, and yeah, to know that we are going to be giving them coats.
What great timing with it turning so cold this week.
I know the first below freezing temperatures that we've had, and it was the day after you'd given the first coats away. And I thought how important that was. And you've been tweeting about it, and so I was able to follow what was going on and thought, oh, you guys have to come back. And by the way, if you want to hear that show, that was Monday night show. If you go to WLAC.com to on demand, click podcast, and you see Plain Jane Wisdom, and you go back to Monday's date, and you will be able to hear, because the connection to homelessness hits very close to home for you girls both. And thank you for what you've done. But I have to ask you, what is one of the most heartwarming stories? Because you were there, and you gave away coats. Were there some stories that you could share?
Yes, there was a lot of great things that happened that night. One thing was I saw Diana had her friend Buddy and his wife Melissa came. And there was a lady there that actually, her 9-year-old did not have a coat. And Melissa tells the story so much better than I do. But she said the 9-year-old did not have a coat, and the little girl was so withdrawn, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and she was wrapped in a blanket. And Melissa helped her find a coat. And the little girl went to put the coat on and zip it up, but her hands were literally so cold that she couldn't, it was like she couldn't feel her hands. It was so cold that night, it snowed. She couldn't zip up her coat. And her mom looked at Melissa and said, well, I just think her hands are too cold. I'll help her zip it up. And Melissa said, her hands are cold. She goes, here's my gloves. And Melissa took off her gloves and put them on this little 9-year-old girl. That's a beautiful story of that night.
Wow.
You get affected, don't you, Kim? It's just, you see somebody in need, and all of a sudden, politics melts away, and denominations melt away, and any kind of status, it goes away. And all of a sudden, fame and celebrity mean nothing. It's, you see another human being that needs something, that you might have a closet full of coats that you can't even close because they're big and they're bulky and you can't even close the closet, and here's this person that is standing in line just waiting for
one
something.
coat.
Yeah. And it's hard to believe that we live in a country that is so rich, and yet that exists right here. So I appreciate what you guys did. You stood out in the cold a lot in this week. It was pretty cold. But
Is there any way for us to keep this going when you go back to Colorado?
I do it in Colorado. So I've been doing it, and so a bunch of my friends, I have a group of Wednesday coffee friends and girlfriends, and they've been doing it every year. And so in November, we do a huge coat drive, and the fire department gets involved, and the police station. They all get involved, and so it's been something that I've been doing for a while, so I will go back to doing that. And my husband and I always try and have clothes extra, because we do take in moms from Shannon's Hope, and so on a weekly basis we're picking up items for the moms, for the babies, for, you know, the family members. So it drives my husband nuts, 'cause he's just like, honey, no more. And I'm like, I know we're gonna need another high chair. I know we're gonna need another crib. And he's just like, please, no more. And then sure enough, you know, I'll get a couple months and it'll be snowing, and I'll be like, what'd I tell you? You want them running around crazy, or do you want them to go to bed on time?
Allison, an important thing too, this particular need for coats doesn't end with Christmas.
Right.
And
the coldest days are yet to come, I'm sure.
and remember when you were talking about your brother, when you found him, it was just an arbitrary day, and he was there, and someone had taken his coat. So, you know, it really doesn't hurt to carry an extra coat. And if you see someone, you know, we have more things that are just stuffed in closets or in boxes in the basement that could help somebody so much. So I think maybe be mindful.
Right.
Hey, there's another T-shirt. Be mindful.
Be mindful.
I like it. For a Beatitude T-shirt.
Clifton Harris, we worked with the Key Alliance, and I don't know if you know, but we have a Metro Homelessness Commission here in town, and Clifton is just an amazing man who is over that whole, I call it a ministry, but for our city, for the homeless, and he keeps a coat in his car at all times, just in case he sees someone on the street without one. The man's heart is beautiful. But if you do want to donate a coat, you can contact thekeyalliance.com, and I'm sorry, that's thekeyalliance.org, and get in contact with me or him or Holly, and we will tell you where you can take your coat, or maybe even come pick it up, because we need it.
Wow. That's beautiful. That is Diana Joy and Allison Steele. Thank you for raising coats. Over 2,500 coats collected in Nashville this week. Let the coat collection continue wherever you are. We are broadcasting right now to 28 states, so just remember, there are homeless people everywhere, and a lot of people are